My name is Antonio Vargas, and I'm going to be teaching the course Time and the Gods, a course on Platonist cosmology in the winter, during November and December. And as part of the preparation for this course and the lead up to this course, I want to discuss an important question that often gets overlooked, which is, why am I teaching philosophy in the language that I'm teaching it in? Why am I teaching it in English? What I'll be teaching is primarily Greek philosophy, primarily the philosophy of Proclus, a Greek philosopher from the 5th century of our era. So why am I doing this in English? It's not just a matter of the fact that I grew up speaking English, and therefore this is the language that's most natural for me to think and to talk about in. I could very well think that this had to be done in Greek, and therefore I would probably be teaching Greek and not directly philosophy in English. Why do this in English? Why do philosophy in translation? Why is it important to translate philosophers into our mother tongue? Right? Why is this important? This is a big issue, and I might be doing many videos touching on it. But for now, I just want to put out some prima facie reasons about why you would want to do philosophy in your own mother tongue. So first of all, to really know that you understand a philosopher, you have to be able to put him in your own words. And the words that are most your own are the words of your mother tongue, right? You can't be sure that you understand someone if you have to use the jargon that they use. You have to rephrase it. You have to find different ways of putting it that shed different light on it. So it's said that Fichte never presented his own system twice with the same vocabulary in order to always keep alive the fact that what was important wasn't the words, but the intuition behind it. And more than that, you don't want to just use your own words in your own language. You want to use the same language that you use when you're thinking about day-to-day things. You don't want philosophy to be done in, as it were, a compartment of your mind that's just dedicated for abstract things, because you want to relate the abstract concepts to your experience, to your life, especially if philosophy is supposed to be somehow a way of life, if philosophy is supposed to have some ethical or moral consequences, or is supposed to help you understand your experience and let you be in awe of the world. So it has to be in touch with your experience, and it won't be able to do that if it's in a language that you just use for this purpose. It's very easy then to get lost and to see it as just a game of checkers, of moving pieces around, moving words here and there. Furthermore, the language of your mother tongue usually will be the language of your community as well, and it will be the languages in which you discuss the issues that are important to your community. And if you don't bring it to your mother tongue, you're not going to be bringing it to the issues that are important to your community. The philosophy won't be able to impact your community, and also you will be doing this philosophy in light of what's important to other people. Now, since English is the main language of international research nowadays, especially in philosophy, in ancient philosophy certainly, this isn't such a problem in English, because most of the research is done in English and is done in terms that are set by the English-speaking debate in philosophy. Right? This is more a problem for Portuguese speakers or for German speakers who end up doing philosophy in English and doing it, because of this, at times far away from subjects that would be important for them to speak about in Portuguese or in German, in their local debates about problems of local importance. So the issue about English being a hegemonic language is something for another time, but it's an important issue to consider here. And it's an important issue for English speakers to consider about their privilege from a global perspective. Furthermore, when you don't master a language, you're often translating the language when you are reading it, right? So when you're just learning German, the German words, they won't refer immediately to things in the world. You won't read Sonne and think of the sun. You read Sonne and you'll think of the English word sun, right? And the same for other words in other languages. However, in philosophy, we always want to refer to reality. We don't want to just have words referring to words referring to words. We want to break through this. Now, of course, there are numerous mediations between ourselves and reality, and it's not a simple thing to say this. But one thing that we can avoid is we can avoid using a language that we don't know well enough, that we're not used to enough, that we don't use it in an immediate way to think about the world. And so that's one further reason to do philosophy in one's mother tongue. And finally, doing philosophy in translation, in your own mother tongue, is an exercise in cosmopolitanism. When you translate things to your own mother tongue, when you do philosophy in your own language, you are bringing content from another language, from another world, from another place, another time, into yours, right? And so it's an action of being a host to this new kind of thought, and so it's you expand, and also they are invited in. So these are just some initial prima facie reasons for doing philosophy in one's mother tongue, and I'll be coming back to this soon. Just to recapitulate, these are you understand philosophy when you say in your own words. You want to relate philosophy to your debates. You want to use language that you use in everyday life. You want to use words that refer to things and not other words. And this is an exercise in cosmopolitanism, right? So these are some basic reasons. And for this reason, I'll be teaching my upcoming course in November and December, Time of the Gods, in English.